We like to call it the Supernatural Hour. And now, our hosts.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another awesome episode of the Supernatural Hour. I'm Tim.
I'm Raven.
I'm Chad.
And with us this week, we have a very special person. I'm going to let him introduce himself.
I'm a special person?
Yes.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Jeff here, Lurch. What's going on?
Lurch!
So yeah, we've been working on getting Lurch back on the show since January, but he has been having a very busy schedule.
Dude, I've been so busy. It's insane. Busy is an understatement. Drinking from the fire hose.
That sounds like fun. We should all try that.
I wouldn't recommend it.
Well, we are glad to have you back.
Thanks. Feels good to be back.
So, do you want to tell people what you've been working on?
I went to a coding boot camp for a while. That's on pause right now because of COVID. But I'm learning to become a web developer. But in the meantime, I do a lot of freelance artwork. I work for a couple different companies. Topps is one of them. They do a lot of baseball trading cards. They own the properties to Garbage Pail Kids. They work with Lucasfilm to do Star Wars cards. I do sketch cards, which are randomly inserted into packs for both Star Wars and Garbage Pail Kids. I just wrapped up 60 cards for Star Wars for Holocron that's coming out later this year. And I'm currently working on the Garbage Pail Kid 35th anniversary set, doing about 100 cards of different sizes and shapes, and those will be due in about 3 or 4 weeks, and that's going to be coming out mid-September, I believe.
Oh, that's awesome.
A lot of work that I've been doing, a lot of artwork. Other than those companies, I have people commission me for private artwork as well. I have other companies that I'm doing work for, so I am definitely staying very, very busy. It's like a full-time job, pretty much, just drawing all day.
So,
but if you enjoy it, then it's good.
Yeah.
If you don't follow him on Facebook, or if you haven't seen any of his artwork, it's absolutely amazing.
It's awesome.
If you're on Instagram, go to Not the Droids 1976, or on Facebook, Stimukill, STIMUKILL, Stimukill Designs, and that has all of my artwork. So check it out.
Yep, I have one or maybe even 2 originals that I'm pretty proud of.
Dude, it's weird because I look back at stuff that I did even just a couple months ago, and I feel like I've leveled up since then. You know, I look at stuff that I did 2 years ago when I first started getting back into drawing again, and I've grown exponentially as an artist, and I've gotten so much better, especially with like photorealism. It's just something that, you know, like anything else, you gotta practice and be persistent and patient, and eventually you get better.
Yep.
You know, like learning an instrument or doing anything in life, you know, it just takes patience, perseverance, and it's really cool to be able to see these noticeable improvements over the last few months and years.
Oh, very cool. Well, we're glad you're back.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, do we have any business? Other than going to advancedparanormal.com, check the merchandise tab, and check out the awesome merchandise that we have for sale. Buy our t-shirts, buy our tote bags, buy our tapestries, buy stuff, and give somebody money.
Yes. And if you are like me and you prefer V-neck t-shirts, there are not V-neck t-shirts available there now, but I want one, so I'm working on getting it up there. So hopefully that will be up there soon.
I know they do have like women's tank tops and razorbacks and stuff like that. If you know what the difference between those are,
I do.
Power to you, but yeah, I guess there are no V-necks, but we do have a lot of other cool stuff. There's travel mugs, there's tumblers, the coffee thermostat, not thermostat.
Probably
Get thermostat for your home.
Yeah,
Insulated beverage holders.
insulated beverage holders. Thank you.
No, there's a lot of cool stuff on there, and I'll get those V-necks up there soon because that's what I want is a V-neck. Alrighty, so no, but we have had, and we don't really have anything as far as public events yet. We will do something where we're trying to space those out a little bit because we are trying to be COVID sensitive and friendly and respectful. So we will have something coming up soon. But we did have a residential last week.
Do tell.
So this was actually one of our listeners, and he's come on a few investigations with us. Super nice family, cutest little dogs you've ever seen, like little fluff balls. And then there's just this little one that was just like, was trying to eat you, but it was like the size of a Q-tip. It was adorable. It's like, yeah, you come and get me, you mean little Q-tip.
Like Yorkie puppies.
They were adorable. So anyway, so they didn't really have anything bad going on in the home. They thought they might have some family members. Most of the people in the home are sensitive, and so they just sense things. If I remember right, they did see a few shadow people. Things. I could have this wrong. If I did, and you're listening, I'm super sorry. I'm getting the story wrong, but they pretty much just kind of wanted to see who was there and why they were there. And one of the individuals in the home is she does what did they call it? Kind of a white witchcraft sort of they had a specific word.
Wiccan?
No, I feel bad that I don't remember what this is called, but very specific. She does witchcraft, but she's more into the stones and the herbs and the very natural.
Metaphysical?
No.
That's what all that is.
The word that they used I'd never heard before, but it was really cool. But it just,
okay.
Just very
Crystal something or other.
very nature-based, very stones, and so she's been kind of getting into that, and she's really enjoying it, and it's doing well. Well, one of the spirits in the home was her grandmother, or great-grandmother.
I think great-grandmother.
And great-grandma was more religious, and she wasn't too excited about this, but after talking with her for a little bit, we decided that, even though great-grandma didn't really approve, she was okay with it, because, everything, we said as long as she, does things for, to be light and happy. The other thing we found in there was an air elemental, and the air elemental was drawn to this practice that this family member was doing. Interested in it. This elemental wasn't really causing any problems. Just kind of existing there. It's a positive elemental, and the thing with elementals that you need to be careful is most of the time they can be playful, but when they turn, they can get really ugly. So we did tell the family, as long as everything is happy and positive in the house, you should be okay, but there is that possibility that this elemental could turn and be nasty. So they are kind of watching for that. I think there was a little portal that we closed, and other than that, it was just kind of fun to get out and
very positive experience.
yeah, it was a lot of fun. We just actually kind of sat and just talked with the family for a long time afterwards because they were just interesting. So there's that.
So I know after the last episode, I mentioned I was on my way to actually go do a follow-up investigation with somebody.
Oh, that's right.
I just wanted to touch on that just a little bit. A lot of the stuff that we did that particular night was very personal, so I can't go into a lot of details of what happened specifically, but we did go back. We did some more energy work with the dad, and his daughter was there this time. She wasn't there last time. We got to know her a little bit. We kind of gave her some guidance. She's actually very gifted. Very gifted individual, and we gave her some resources to kind of learn how to develop those gifts and how to use them in a positive way, and she was very receptive to what we had to tell her. I actually taught her how to charge and put intentions into crystals, and showed her a little bit about crystal energy healing. We were doing some energy work with her dad. We actually let her participate in the energy work and kind of just taught her some basics real quick, just to kind of give her a little bit of experience about what it is that we actually do. But we did some more energy work with, like I said, with both of them. We were able to go through, we saged the house once more, and we did some energy work in the house. I had our investigators Mark and Mike with us. They went through and blessed each room in the house and did a blessing on the home. There was still some residual energy in the home from what was going on before. And it's one of those things where, and we've had several cases like this where there's so much stuff that goes on in the personal life that needs to be worked on, and we kind of gave them the tools and the guidance to kind of move forward, because a lot of the times, like, people, they get so used to having the stuff in their life. It's having spirits in their home for so many years. It's kind of hard for them to imagine what life is like without it. And we've talked about this when John Zaffis was on the show. That it's there for so long, it almost becomes a part of them. And when you get rid of that, they feel like they've lost part of themselves. And it's like they don't know who they are. So we just kind of gave them the tools to help rebuild from this experience and come out happier than what they were when they were living with it, and how to kind of redefine who they are without this negative influence in their lives. So, like I said, a lot of the stuff that we did was kind of, it was a lot of personal information that went on between, us and the homeowner and his daughter. But we were able to help him out for the most part. There's still a lot of work that needs to be done there, but as long as they use the tools that we gave them, and always ask for help whenever you need it. Just know that you've got teams like us out there for you, and this is just everybody in general, not just this particular family, but you also have the amazing team of Bear River Paranormal up in the Logan, southern Idaho area. They also have done investigations here in the valley as well. I know they were the ones that originally helped this guy about 3 years ago. But I mentioned some other teams last podcast as well, but just know that there are people that can actually help you and care about you and your well-being. So we do our best, but we like to remind people that a lot of what we do is just we open the door for you, so to speak, on how to kind of cope with and move on from these negative experiences. And not everything we do is clearing negative. A lot of people have, like you mentioned, family members that are there, and they just want to communicate with their family members that are there and kind of know what's going on. So not every haunting is a negative experience, but for the ones that do deal with negative stuff, there's just so much personal work that you have to do on your own to continue keeping that positive flow. And it's not always easy, just because you're basically changing habits. You're changing the way things have been in your life for, how many years that you've been dealing with this. So,
right. And and if you think about it, it's like, changing your diet, or, maybe a new job, or, there's a lot of different things in life that's hard. And this is just another one thing that can be hard, and it takes work. But, like Lurch said earlier, the more you do it, the easier it gets, and the better it gets. So,
do we have any other residentials, or is it just those two?
I believe that was it. And I did forget one little, as I'm thinking about it, more is coming back to me. They actually had a Native American spirit that was in the backyard. And as being from this area, we actually run into quite a few Native American spirits. And for the most part, they tend to be a little serious, very concerned about the integrity of the land and what goes on their land. And this was no exception. He was a little more stoic, and he was a little concerned about some of the tension in the house between great grandma's spirit and the elemental, and the person in the home that's involved in her craft. But when we kind of resolved that, he was like, okay, I'm pretty chill. Also, there was a woman and a child's, just a type 1 spirit in the home, and they wanted to cross over. So we got those, the woman and her son, we got them crossed over. They were a little intimidated by the Native American spirit, but we got it all sorted out. So I forgot about that a little bit. So
that's cool.
Yeah, we had Dave with us, and he'd never been to that part of Utah County before, and he quite liked it there, so it was fun.
So I just wanted to give a quick update about a previous episode we've done. It's one I did with Castle and Mike. We talked about Bobby Makey's, and we actually have some friends with Bear River Paranormal that recently visited Bobby Makey's. And in all the research that we did, every website that we looked at and documentaries and whatnot, all stated that at one point the land, or the building itself, was used as a slaughterhouse. And there were some stories that went along with that. Now, from what I was told, they had actually asked one of the employees at Bobby Makey's that runs the ghost tours about that, and according to them, the people at Bobby Makey's, that part of the slaughterhouse part was actually made up, and it was never actually a slaughterhouse, but at one point it was a distillery according to them. What's true, I don't know, but I'm going to kind of lean towards the people that actually work there and live in the area. So if we did give misinformation, it wasn't intentional. It was just what everything online and everything in our research showed. So
Bobby Makey's, that's in Kentucky or Tennessee?
I believe it's in Kentucky. It's about an hour north of Waverly Hills.
See, that would make sense for it to be a distillery. I mean, you know, moonshine, everyone and their dog probably distills out there.
Probably still do.
You know, the home of bourbon.
Yeah, so it's more likely that it was, like you said, a distillery than an actual slaughterhouse.
But, you know, I could be wrong. It could have been a slaughterhouse, too.
I mean, the stories were fascinating that went along with the slaughterhouse, and I think, it just kind of adds to the mystery of what happened to Bobby Makey's in that area.
In and of itself, just what happens now on the paranormal at Bobby Makey's is cool. I mean, regardless what it was before, it's pretty active. And pretty
So, yeah, I just wanted to give a shout out to Dave from Bear River Paranormal for providing me with that information.
awesome. So, weird, wacky paranormal news. Wacky. I don't.
Wacky!
So this one.
Do you have something?
I do actually. Don't try
Is it wacky and wild?
Don't try to read that. So I take notes while I'm watching
It's
some YouTube
weird,
videos.
wild stuff.
Weird, wild stuff!
So this weird wild stuff is really more weird wild people. People, you guys need hobbies, is all I can say. So as I was looking around for something weird and wacky, apparently there's a hobby that people have of trying to convince other people that there are ghost cars, and that these ghost cars drive around and get in accidents with other cars. And I watched probably 20 of these little videos, and there's
YouTube
compilations.
videos, yeah.
Just
This is the thing.
go to YouTube and type in ghost car, and you can see this yourself. And it's like, okay, you photoshopped it out. I am not even convinced. I'm not even, hey, Brandy, look at this. What do you think? No, it's photoshopped out.
Seriously, with digital photography and the things that you can do with Photoshop, it's not surprising that people would try to pull these hoaxes now.
It is kind of interesting because you look at it like this car's driving around and all of a sudden it just like munches and turns.
No,
You know?
and I will have to edit. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool seeing a one car accident, but don't try to tell me it's a ghost car. Get a hobby, knit, for heaven's sakes.
I think
Now-
they found a hobby. They're really good at video editing.
Right?
Because I've seen some of those videos. I'm just like, yeah, I could make that. I could do that.
Now, the legend of the grandmas. I'm not sure if you guys remember that. The grandmas. I think it's in Ogden. It's been said that there's a car that drives around with 3 old ladies in it, and all they do is just drive and wear masks. I think like a facial. And this is
Not COVID masks.
yeah, not COVID masks,
Okay.
but or I don't know, it might have been COVID masks. But this was a couple years ago that I first heard about it from Kenny D from Radio Ronin about the grandmas. Are you guys familiar with that at all? You ever hear of that?
This is actually the first time I'm hearing of it.
This
You've
is
never
new.
heard of the grandmas?
No, this is wackier.
man.
This is wackier
I
than ghost cars.
Don't know if this would be considered a ghost car, where it's just, I don't know if I think it might just be urban myth, urban legend, but a lot of people have sworn that they've seen this car driving around late at night, and it's got like 3 or 4 old women in it, and they just have these blank, vacant expressions, and they're driving at night, in the middle of the night. And I wish I had more details to the story, but I wasn't sure if you guys had heard about it, so I was expecting you to kind of help fill in the details of the blank.
I'll definitely look into that. We
Yeah.
can talk about.
No, we'll talk
it some
about this
more on
next time.
The
next
grandmas.
So just be prepared. We'll talk
The
about
myth-
the grandmas.
The urban myth of the grandmas in, I think it's Ogden, Utah.
Okay, now, and
Northern Utah.
if you guys have any more information about this, feel free to let us know before
Yeah.
we record in 2 weeks.
Please. If you've seen the grandmas driving around, let us know. Tell us your story.
We need to know about the grandmas.
Well, I'm
need to
usually
know.
not anywhere around when Deanna's driving, so
Yeah,
I
this
haven't
was-
seen the grandmas driving.
This was like 3 or 4 years ago that I first heard about it, but like I said, it was Kenny D from Radio Ronin that first mentioned it, and I think he lives up in that area, in the Ogden area.
I believe so.
And so I think he's actually seen the grandmas. So Ken, if you're listening, tell us more about your personal experiences with the grandmas.
Ooh.
Yeah. Is that wild? Is that weird enough?
No, that's
Yeah,
weird,
I think
wild
that's
stuff.
That's weird.
Thank you, Johnny
That's
Carson.
weird stuff.
Hey-oh!
All right, this week, I am going to be talking about Sapphire.
I love sapphires. They're my favorite.
Don't know anything about it, so let's just jump right into it and see what the Crystal Bible has to say.
September's birthstone, and I was not born in September, but my best calculations, I was conceived in September, so I counted as kind of a pseudo birthstone. There you go.
Parents did the old hibbity-bibbity in September.
Yes, they did.
Nice. That's too much information.
I am a honeymoon baby.
That's cool.
I figure my parents didn't have me for about 3 days. Anyway, Sapphire, let's hear about it.
Okay. That was... now that's weird, wild stuff.
Sapphire.
All right.
Yes! Yes!
Sapphire.
Oh!
I'm pretty much not afraid to say anything, in case you wondered.
Okay. I'll give you a list next week and see how much of you say.
Okay.
So Sapphire, a couple of the colors it can be: blue, yellow, green, black, or purple. Its rarity is some sapphire colors are rare, but most are easily obtained as uncut stones. Some of the attributes of sapphire is it's known as the wisdom stone, each color having its own particular wisdom. It focuses and calms the mind and releases unwanted thoughts and mental tension, bringing in peace of mind and serenity. Sapphire aligns the physical, mental, and spiritual planes and restores balance within the body. This stone releases depression and spiritual confusion and stimulates concentration. It brings prosperity and attracts gifts of all kinds. Now, when placed on the throat, sapphire releases frustration and facilitates self-expression. I think it's funny that I don't, like I've mentioned before, I pick these stones as we're talking about the main subject, and every week it seems like either there's a lot of stones that deal with depression, or I just am getting really lucky at picking stones that have to deal with releasing depression.
Maybe it's because we're all in lockdown and quarantine and the entire planet is depressed.
Yeah, and we've talked about this a lot on the show lately about, like you said, with the quarantine and being locked indoors and not necessarily locked indoors, but on lockdown. Some people get that anxiety, they get that stress, they get that depression, and these are just stones I think that people need to hear about for whatever reason. Now, as a healing stone, sapphire calms overactive body symptoms and regulates the glands. It heals the eyes, removing impurities and stress. Now, it treats blood disorders and alleviates excessive bleeding, strengthens veins, and improves their elasticity. The position you want to have it when you're using it is just touching the body. You want to wear it on the finger or a place as appropriate. Now, I'm just kind of do the same disclaimer I always do. I believe that crystals are more for spiritual and mental and emotional cleansings. When you are looking at like physical illnesses or like actual mental disabilities, you're going to want to actually seek out a medical professional. I don't think that you can magically cure cancer with a crystal. That's just crazy in my opinion, but who knows. Now, some of the specific colors of sapphire, like I said, each color of sapphire has its own unique attributes. In addition to words are hard. To their generic qualities. So let's get into black sapphire. Now, it's protective and centering. It imparts confidence in one's own intuition. Now, this stone heightens employment prospects and helps in retaining a job. Blue sapphire is a seeker after spiritual truth, traditionally associated with love and purity. It is extremely effective for earth and chakra healing. This tranquil stone helps you to stay on the spiritual path and is used in shamanic ceremonies to transmute negative energies. It opens and heals the throat chakra and the thyroid and facilitates self-expression and speaking your truth. Green sapphire, it improves vision, both inner and outer, and improves dream recall. It stimulates the heart chakra, bringing loyalty, fidelity, and integrity. This stone enhances compassion and understanding of the frailties and unique qualities of others. It honors trust and respect for other people's belief systems. I think a whole lot of people in the world right now could use some green sapphire. Pink sapphire acts as a magnet to draw into your life all that you need in order to evolve. It is a fast-acting stone that teaches you how to master emotions, clearing emotional blockages, and integrating the transmuted energies. We also have purple sapphire. It is helpful for meditation, stimulating the kundalini rise of the crown chakra, and opening spirituality. Now, this stone activates the pineal gland with its link to psychic abilities and stimulates visionary qualities.
You said penal. Sorry. Go ahead.
I've missed you so much. We actually had a conversation not too long ago about the. I know in the past people have talked about the juvenile
playing down the juvenile humor,
and
humor.
And I straight up told Lurch when we talked about that, I'm like, it happens when you and I are on the show.
Sorry.
Like, I think it's funny. I know some people aren't going to, and I apologize. Maybe you could use some green sapphire.
You were in the middle of a serious discussion, so please continue.
So on the purple sapphire, it is extremely calming for the emotionally unstable.
I need some.
Royal sapphire eliminates negative energies from chakras and stimulates the third eye to access information for growth. This stone teaches responsibility for your own thoughts and feelings. It treats brain disorders, including dyslexia. Star sapphire has a 5-pointed star-shaped formation in its depths. This rare stone draws you into its depths and opens intuition. It brings about centering of your thoughts and aids in anticipating the intentions of other people. It is said to contact extraterrestrial beings. Yes. So if you want to talk to ET, Star Sapphire. And then oh my gosh, there's 2 more. So we've got white sapphire, has an extremely pure energy, opening the crown chakra. It takes spiritual awareness to a very high space, opening cosmic consciousness. This is an extremely protective stone that removes obstacles to the spiritual path. It is helpful in accessing your potential and life purpose. I could use some of that. And yellow sapphire. Yellow sapphire attracts wealth to the home and can be placed in cash boxes to increase prosperity and earnings. If worn, it should touch the body. Yellow sapphire stimulates the intellect and improves overall focus so that the bigger picture is seen. As an elixir, it removes toxins from the body.
Now, see, when it comes to sapphires, I knew about blue one. That's the one that you always think of.
That's the only color that I was aware of, so this is all news to me.
And I did know there were clear sapphires, but I didn't know about all the other ones. So that's interesting.
Yep, I didn't either. Like I said, I don't know anything about sapphire. It's just as I kind of randomly scroll through the Crystal Bible, I just kind of go with the one that I'm feeling like needs to be talked about this week. So that is sapphire. I think that does it for this episode.
That's a wrap.
In the words of Chad, it's an episode.
It is.
You've been listening to the Supernatural Hour at AdvancedParanormal.com. The Supernatural Hour is part of the Radio Ronin network found at RadioRonin.com. Copyright 2021 by Advanced Paranormal Services.